On this episode of the Alter Ego Lounge, we decided to change things up and take the recording outside of the studio. We're on location with an ambassador from Karl Strauss, talk about his brewery and all the different types of beers that he offers. We go over a list of great comic book drinking buddies, and we talk about how Wi-Fi access is now more addictive than sex, chocolate, and booze combined. All coming up in the Alter Ego Lounge.
Welcome to the Alter Ego Lounge, a geek-easy, serving cocktails to a community of dreamers and readers. Talking all things comic book and geek related.
All right, let's do this. Welcome to another episode of the Alter Ego Lounge podcast.
Episode number 4.
Episode 4 now. We're moving on up. We're going to be rich and famous just by doing this every week. That'll be so nice. We have a special guest today. We're doing something different. I'm just going to let you introduce yourself. And then because you provided the beer, just tell us what we're drinking because I have no idea what I'm drinking. I've just been drinking whatever you give me, so...
That works.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, I'm Jared Farber.
Yes.
I work with Karl Strauss Brewing Company out of San Diego. And you were drinking 7 Sharks of Circling. It's our holiday series beer right now from Karl Strauss.
It's really good.
Smoked Imperial Porter.
I love that smoky stuff.
Yeah, that one I like.
Yeah.
What was the one that you drank earlier, though?
The peanut butter cup.
Peanut butter cup.
That one's like a cult classic out in San Diego.
Really?
Yeah.
Super popular?
It's branching out to Inland Empire area as
Oh,
well,
awesome.
So it's doing good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what is everyone else drinking?
Oh.
I'm drinking the Aurora Hoppy Ellis IPA, Karl Strauss.
Karl Strauss? Awesome.
Can't go wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the baseline double IPA.
So the idea is all local breweries, right? We got that?
Yeah.
We're in
Perfect.
California.
Right? That's kind of the thing. Is there's a lot of local breweries that keep popping up.
Honestly, like San Diego is like the mecca of California and West Coast brewery besides, of course, Oregon, all that. But there are 2 different spectrums. I think us out here, because it's so dry and hot, we're more the lighter, crisper, more like dry hopped IPAs, where in Oregon they're a lot more maltier, a lot heavier base, just
Right on.
because of the rain and all that stuff, I can presume.
Did you have to go out to Oregon for work?
No, I actually went out there a couple months ago with my girlfriend and her family. So
Cool.
it was fun, yeah.
What did you guys do out there?
Just hung out in Portland.
Awesome.
I drank a lot of beer. We
Yeah.
stopped by Deschutes. They had like a brew pub restaurant type of thing, what Karl Strauss does a lot. And
And Voodoo Donuts? Did you go there?
we passed by it, but the line was so long.
Yeah.
Really?
We walked by, we're like, nope.
Dang. That's got to be a good spot if the line's like super long.
Yeah, that was fun.
It's
a
popular
bummer.
place.
But it was interesting to see like the 2 aspects of beer. Like that's the one thing I noticed at least.
So I can imagine from your standpoint going to like a brewery that's like, just checking out different breweries and how they function. That's got to be pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, it's like a perk of my job. We've been able to go to Bottle Logic in Anaheim. Those guys are really good. I've been getting really close to Claremont Craft Ale. It's like
Awesome.
you just go back there. They give you a brewery tour.
Mhm.
I got to try a barrel-aged sour not too long ago. They pulled the nail right out of the barrel that it was fermenting in. It wasn't ready yet, but it was cool. It was aging for like almost a year.
Wow.
It tasted a little bit like sour grape juice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Had a lot of process to go, but it was still
For
fun.
sure. Yeah.
Wait, was that the cake that you were opening on your Instagram?
Yeah, I think I put it on Instagram. Like, literally, the guys, it's funny. It's like, they spray it, cleanse the nail, but literally, a nail's the only thing holding it in. And they pry it open, a little spigot of alcohol comes out. And
Nice. That's nice.
That's
Yeah.
a big wooden barrel, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they take stuff. All kinds of barrels from different breweries. My company, we do everything. Last year, we took Jack Daniel's barrels. Red Charlie, we aged it in red wine barrels. So it, gave it a fruitier, lighter taste to it. It's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that the barrel itself changes a lot
It does.
of the flavor of the beer or even whiskey or even wine to a certain point. It really controls the flavor and content of the alcohol too. So explain exactly what company you work for, what exactly you do, and then if you can give like a brief maybe history of the company.
Yeah, definitely. So what I do is I'm a brewery field representative. So I cover a big part of Southern California. I go to Temecula, to Mammoth, Coachella, to about Diamond Bar. So I cover all those. I work with distributors. So locally, Hangar 24, they distribute my beer. A bunch of little different Anheuser-Busch distributors, they distribute it as well. So I work with their sales teams, get them on track with what beers they, I need them to focus on, whether it be Aurora Hopialis or our holiday beer. Do ride-alongs with them, get them pumped up about it. I also do tap takeovers, pint nights, all that stuff. I'm kind of like that middleman between restaurants and their distributors.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's fun. I mean, I do a lot of driving, see a lot of faces. Kind of hard to remember everyone's name, but I do.
Where did you say you have to drive from tomorrow?
Oh, I got to go to Bakersfield tomorrow.
But after, where are you going to be?
Oh, after Anaheim. So,
Anaheim.
That's a long drive.
So I get to go to Anaheim, let people in. My boss is going to let people into Disneyland, but we're going to load up my truck with a bunch of beer and drive about 4 hours to Bakersfield and drop off all the beer. Yeah, it'll be fun.
So in some California traffic, that's going to be lovely.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Awesome. And what about Karl Strauss? How long have you been with the company now?
It'll be, I want to say a little over a year and a half, maybe like year, 8-9 months. Honestly, these guys are really fun to be with. Treat us really well as employees. Can't really ask for anything better. Karl's been around since 1989. They're the first brewery to open up since Prohibition ended out in San Diego.
Really?
Yeah. I don't quote me on this, I guess you can say, but since we opened up as kind of like a little brew pub, brewery in it on Columbia Street. A lot of San Diego people like Ballast Point, Stone Brewing, a lot of those owners and stuff came through that Karl Strauss in the very beginning.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've been quoted, we branded the Godfather of beer, so to say, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
So definitely had an impact on the brewery.
We had a good influence. Yeah.
Awesome.
We're finally starting to get back into more of the brewery side too. We have a lot of brew pubs, which are great. Anaheim and LA just opened up. They're cool because we get to make beers at each one. Like they're all one-offs. They're never a main production beer. But if they do stick and they like the Mosaic Session or anything like that, it becomes a full production beer.
Oh, so you mean you brew like a beer for a certain location and kind of run with it? That's awesome.
We have about 8 restaurants right now, 8 or 9.
Wow, that's great.
Each one, a brewer is assigned to it, and they have fun. They go and make whatever they want. And like, I guess BJ's kind of had that thing back in the day, but they stopped and they only make root beer out of it now. We full bore, brewers go out there, make their own beer. And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you ever made your own batch, or I know you had to jump in the big cake. What are they called?
I jumped into the lauder ton. That was pretty fun. Yeah. So when I first started, they do a brew along, because whether you're there for an office job or something, it doesn't matter what you do. They're gonna make you do a brew along. So my first week there, I got to brew Red Trolley. It was a great time. Takes a long time to get it going, but the process is fun. You're running around the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun. I tried to homebrew once before, and our thermometer was broken, and really just burnt the wort and everything.
Oh.
So I want to say my very first time brewing beer, terrible. It didn't even work.
Really?
But no, it was fun though to see how it actually was done on a bigger scale and how calculated they were.
Yeah.
It's really puts it into perspective of what brewers do.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I can say I've never had any experience brewing my own beer. My buddy Sean, he got into brewing beer quite a bit, and he was all amped up about it. He told me, he's like, yo, I just got this brewing kit. Come over, we're going to make some beer with Shell. I was like, for sure. So I went over expecting to be like, yes, we're going to chill out. We're going to drink some beer, homemade beer. No, he took 3 hours just to clean everything, make sure everything was sterile.
Yep.
And then once he got that done, he made started boiling water, made a first batch, and he put it to the side. He's like, we got to wait 3 or 4 weeks or a month or so. And I'm like, you know what? I was like, you should have told me. I would have picked up beer and came over instead. I got to sit here and wait a whole month. Not a lot of people know that the brewing process takes forever, so I was disappointed. So next time you do that, hit me up at the end of the process, and I'll come.
Exactly, yeah.
For sure.
Well, okay, so do you guys have... I know when I went to the Jack Daniel's distillery, they had, these people who were whiskey tasters, and they would come in and try different barrels and make sure that they're the right taste of whiskey. So do you guys have that for beer as well?
Kind of, actually, yeah. It's funny that you brought that up. We're one of a few, I guess you could say, on the craft side that we do quality control testing. In our brewery, it's not a full touring facility. It's a closed brewery, but if you know the right people over here, you can get a private
Hint,
I know.
awesome.
Go.
But one of the cool parts is we do have a quality control lab, and honestly, it looks like a mad scientist experiment in there. They got everything from like checking the beers directly by tasting. We have tasting panels, kind of like you said, the whiskey. They're checking for bacteria that could be in there. Yeast is a really big thing. If you get some wild yeast that floats up into the brewery at all, it pretty much contaminates everything that you're making in there. So they do a really good job at keeping all that under control. Also keeps the beer really consistent. I'd say one of the best things about a brewery for a brewer is to say your beer is consistent, and we take pride in that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you're producing a product in general, consistency is really important, especially when it comes to brewing beer. You go and purchase a beer, you want to make sure it tastes the same way as the last time you drank it too. So that's a big plus for sure.
Yeah, I mean you have to really be a beer snob to actually know, oh yeah, this Aurora Hop Yellows tastes terrible from the last one.
Is that you think your level of beer tasting is up there? Is there a word for
a beer connoisseur?
Beer connoisseur,
beer snob, beer connoisseur. And it's funny. I meet a lot of people, and most of the people that are the beer snobs, beer connoisseurs, they're just more excited about beer. Unless something happens to where the beer is just awful, then they'll be like, oh, well, maybe they should dump the batch. But I'm getting more beer snobby. I'm not going to lie. When I first came into it, I was like, yeah, I know beer. Yeah, sure, I like it. I had no idea. And, a year and a half, a little more than that later, I'm starting to, understand the whole process of it, what, different pitches of yeast will do to beers, how to lager it, or ales, or, brewed at different temperatures will affect it. It's crazy. It just made me give a lot more respect.
Yeah, there's so much work that goes into it. And I was listening to another podcast, and some guy was talking about his job because he had to check the temperatures on everything and goes through this whole cycle of things that they have to do before they actually let people or bottle the beers. So I just thought it was crazy.
Yeah. But no, it's fun. I mean, Carl's doing a lot of things too. There's plans of opening up a bigger facility, but I think it's in the works and everything. But we're doing everything we can to maximize our brewery out there. We're knocking down a lot of walls right now. We're gonna put in a whole canning line, so we're gonna have bottles and cans. Which right now cans is the way to go for beer. So
why?
It's funny, actually. Cans is one of the best things you can put beer into because bottles, we have these brown ones here. I know people can't see, but we do use brown bottles for Karl Strauss. Light affects beer. So if it depends on the degree of bottle you have, white's the worst. So
really?
Yeah. As soon as it hits it's all about blockage of UV rays.
So science, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Science,
it gets crazy.
Yeah, that's really
so
intricate.
if it's closed in a can, it doesn't.
Basically,
the light doesn't get
yes, because in a can is like putting it in a mini keg. Sun can't penetrate it. That's why a lot of breweries too. They make their carts or the cartons that carry the 6-pack with bottles.
Mm-hmm.
They make it higher. That way, the sun can only hit a certain amount. But like Heineken, they use green bottles. If you drink a Heineken, it has that skunky taste.
It does.
That is made on purpose. If you were to drink Heineken straight out of their bright tank, it would taste different as to where if you drink it out of the bottle. But they put it through the sun and process it just to get that specific skunky taste that it does when the light hits the green bottle.
I never thought of that.
Which
is probably exactly why wine bottles are
they're
different colors.
Dark as hell.
Yeah.
So I mean, I didn't know really any of this when I first came into it, and now I'm still learning. I learn stuff every day. So
That's amazing.
It's fun.
My only concern was how it made me feel after a long day. But now I'm thinking, I'm not picking up that clear bottle anymore. That's garbage. Get that out of my face.
Yeah,
That's great.
Like I said though, like Heineken, that's what they want, so it's cool. Yeah.
And what about actually when it comes to? I mean, I guess it does have a lot to influence on taste, but when it comes to preference of drinking out of a beer or can or draft, what would you prefer? Would be the best way to enjoy a beer?
Oh, definitely in order. You got to go draft.
Okay.
I mean, you can't really beat draft. Second would be definitely canned. I'm an IPA lover, so canned IPAs is actually one of the most underrated things you can do.
Mm-hmm.
To get the full aroma effect and everything, though, definitely pour whatever you have into a glass. Once it's poured in, it gets all the aroma and the flavor out. Can't taste a crazy amount of difference, but
Right.
it just freshens the beer up.
So kind of like wine too, in a way. You do have to open the bottle, pour it out, and let it sit, let it air out a little bit to get the flavor.
Let it breathe.
That's interesting.
They make glasses specifically for certain beers too.
Yeah. Obviously, different pubs they have different
Mm-hmm.
glasses.
Yeah. So like I said, it's all science. Like I mean,
It's a trip.
it dates back centuries ago.
And when did you say the company started again?
1989.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And it's how many locations of the brewery do you actually have?
So we have our main facility that's in Pacific Beach. Tiny little. Well, I guess it's not tiny compared to other breweries. It's a little small, but yeah, Pacific Beach. That's where we make everything. All of our main stuff. Nothing ever comes out of the brew pubs except for those specialty beers, like I said. But the brew pubs do make quite a lot of beer throughout the years too.
Awesome.
I think we brewed over 100 and something beers this year alone.
Wow.
Between what we made in the brew pubs and at our main facility.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What are your thoughts about the trend of? I mean, to me, obviously, it seems like there's been a lot of local breweries that are popping up. It seems like people are really getting into home brewing now. And from your standpoint, what are your thoughts of that?
I love it a lot. I think one thing I learned in the beer community is everyone is about sharing and wanting others to succeed as well. I came from a wine and spirit side work-wise before I came to Karl Strauss, and it was quite the opposite. If you worked for Jim Beam, you hated Jack because they're different suppliers.
Competition,
Yeah,
right.
The one thing that I love about here is we go to local breweries to try it out, and we compliment each other. We
Awesome.
give each other helps. What Carl's doing a lot this year too is we're doing collaborations. Breweries do this all the time. We're doing some with the Monkey Paws here in Nevada this year. So a few more on the list I can't remember. It's like all happening within January and on. But yeah, brewers come together from other major breweries to make a beer together, and it's some of the best beer I've ever had. So it's super fun. I love all these little breweries popping up though.
Yeah.
From Claremont Craft Ales to Bottle Logic out in Anaheim to, I mean, you can go all the way to the East Coast and find probably some of the best beer you've ever had, and it's from a mom and pop shop.
Yeah.
So.
And that's another cool thing too. He's right. Like when you go into a local brewery, there's always someone talking about other local breweries too. When you hear about one, you find out about 5.
Yep.
And that's a very cool thing too. And there's a lot that are local in this area alone that I didn't even know that they were around.
They are.
But they're super popular. A lot of people really seem to enjoy it.
Yeah, there was a local ale house that they would just come and have beer sharing nights, and everyone would bring a 6-pack and share their beer.
That's awesome.
That's what we do at our meetings. We do they're called competitive tasting, but it's really just like, hey, I have this awesome beer from a brewery. Like Kern River is kind of like a big cult brewing type of thing.
Really, that's something we're gonna have to go check out because we've been wanting to go camping up in Kern River, and that'd be another reason to go.
Yeah, we've talked about it for a long time. Yeah.
Kern River makes some really good beers. So,
really, that's awesome.
They're starting to get a lot bigger now, but it's fun. Like besides it making me fat, I really have no complaints about it.
That's awesome.
So what's your go-to beer right now, or what's your favorite?
Man, I mean, like I said, I love IPAs of all sorts. Besides Carl beer, not just because I work for them, I love them to death. I like Modern Times a lot, another San Diego brewery.
Okay.
They make great beer. Anything from their Fortunate Islands line to, God, it doesn't really even matter what they make. It's pretty good.
I'll have to try it. I haven't had any of theirs.
Yeah, they have a nice vibe. They have like a '70s vibe.
Cool.
So no, it's cool. I mean, that's the thing I love about breweries too. They're not all the same. From the beers they make to what they want to bring culturally, it's just whatever those brewers and owners want to make it. It's like their home. It's like walking into someone's home.
Yeah.
It's gonna be different. It's still beer, but it's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say, they don't really care for an IPA, or they only care for like a certain IPA, and it is kind of like wine. Not a lot of people like it, but once you find that one perfect bottle, you'll be stuck with it forever, and then
Unless they stop making it like my favorite wine.
and then you'll just start crying every time you go to the supermarket and realize they don't have flirt wine anymore. It's just a breakdown and a panic attack.
It's funny. Yeah, we since we came out with Aurora Hoppy Alice and stuff, we made we had to make some cuts to our brewery because we were at capacity already.
Mm.
We had to take off a couple of beers. One of them was our double IPA, Tower 20. The second I kept telling my customers that we weren't making it anymore, they kind of freaked out a little bit. I'm like, well,
you know what? As bartenders, yeah, people get emotional when you have something and they enjoy it, and then you just take it off the tap. Like, what the heck happened?
yeah, they get invested. Like
For sure.
peanut butter porter, I'm telling you, like it's gonna go away in probably like a couple of weeks, and I'm gonna go to some of these bars and they're gonna be like, I want more, I need more. I'm like, I'm sorry, dude, can't wait next year.
Well, at least it gets people out of like their comfort zone and like has them trying new things. I don't necessarily think it's okay for people to go to the same restaurant and only order like the same thing.
Yeah.
Like try new things.
Yeah, and that's one thing I can
living.
say about local breweries and the whole local trend of brewing is that it gets people out there to try different beers. I hate regulars that come to the bar and always just order Coors Light, and then they get upset when we run out of it. I'm like, come on, there's 18 other beers that we have on draft, and you're going to be stuck on water.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I know there is that certain generations where they're like, yeah, I only will drink Coors Light, but I mean, there's so many other beers out there that craft breweries that make that certain style of beer like a Coors Light, but adds a little more craft to it. All you have to do is like open their eyes. Like, there's more than Coors Light. There's Scrimshaw or something like that. A Popkin Pilsner from, I'm forgetting the brewery's name. They're on Temecula, but they're craft breweries and they make beer just as well as Coors Light.
Right. And you could almost think like, people got influence from drinking beers, trying different beers, and to be ordered to start your own brewery. I mean, that shows passion already.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dedication. So you're right. Definitely a lot of heart goes into it. So it's a special ingredient. It's a special batch of beer. There's tons out there. It's really good.
Yeah, I will say it makes our job easier if they have their go-to beer and we're like, oh, Coors Light? Okay, we got it.
Yeah, definitely. At that point,
you order
we'll
Bud
just
Light all
serve
the
it.
time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's certain times for that beer too.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
We can't be sitting here on a hot summer day out in the water.
You mean beer pong? Because that's the only time I drink Bud Light.
Yeah.
Even then, I'm drinking. Even then, I have a glass of whiskey with me, and I'm just having someone else drink my beer.
I play the bad way. I play that water pong, whatever it's called. People try to rag, but I will gladly drink my good beer casually.
That's like a 10%, and
then have to drink a beer that's been dirtied and. Just, where did the ball go? Like, the balls go into the dirt and the bushes. People,
Yeah.
Like, I can't do it.
We're classy beer pong.
So you're a beer pong
drinkers.
snob.
I am.
I'll
admit it.
Here. There's nothing wrong with being a beer pong snob. So let's say for the holiday season coming up, you guys got some seasonal beers. What kind of beers would you recommend for the holiday gathering, like
For
Thanksgiving and for Christmas? What beer would you recommend, Jesus?
I mean, it's getting colder, so people definitely gravitate towards the porters and the stouts and stuff. Like our Seven Sharks Circling is the Imperial Smoked Porter. For me, it honestly just depends on the drinker it is. I mean, like I'll drink an IPA every day out of the year, but like a good Belgian beer is good. Like we had a Belgian brown that came out last year that, a lot of beers come out with like a gingery, like a more bready taste to it. I think people just like something a little darker, a little thicker on their palate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something interesting that I kind of thought of too is that my brother went to Germany, and he went to a whole bunch of, pubs and beer gardens out there, and he was telling me the first thing that he noticed was that the temperature of his beer was a lot different from the way it's served out here. And out here, we like to have, I guess because we're California, we like to have everything nice and cold and cool. But most of his beer that he drank out there was pretty much room temperature.
Yeah, they do that. It's funny you say that. We do a program. It's a cask program, which is basically the old style or European style of drinking beers. They do drink it at room temperature. Not a huge fan of it myself, but like you said, I'm born and raised out here, basically in California.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty cool how they do it. But Karl Strauss does a keg every week, a cask keg, and we take beers like Aurora and we throw little adjuncts into it, and I think we had a blueberry one in there before, but we serve it at room temperature. Old-fashioned style, you either do a gravity pour, which means there's no CO2 or anything in the beer as well. So it's a little more flat.
Okay.
But room temperature, kind of a flat. You have to be a true old-style drinker to
sure.
really enjoy that.
He loved it. Every beer that he tasted was a little bit warmer than he was used to, and he was loving it.
I probably would like that because I don't like ice cold water.
Yeah.
That's my next step. I need to get out. I want to go to Europe and try
awesome.
everything. Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Gotta start saving up, break my bank as soon as
Have the job, dude. Have your job support that.
That'd be great.
For sure. Be a representative.
Yeah, I'm going to be a rep out.
Let me be the world ambassador for Karl.
Seriously, that might be something.
I'm going to go create a new position for myself.
If they're listening to this podcast right now, it's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Give it to him. Give him the job. Give him his unlimited flight miles.
Yeah.
And let him go to Europe.
And bring
Japan.
me with you.
Yeah, I need a posse of people. I need at least 5 to 10 people at any time because, we got to roll deep. We'll be walking billboard signs for Karl Strauss.
That's awesome.
It's funny. We're actually only distributed in California.
Really?
So you can't find Karl Strauss anywhere else in the States?
Unless, we're 46th largest in the U.S. right now for craft brewery-wise, which is huge, but we only distribute
in California.
We send certain beers, like Pintail Pale Ale, for some reason. Australia loves it.
Really?
So it's like one of the few internationals that we ever sent beer to.
That would be the starting point right there, is to get out to Australia.
Yeah, and then drink more Karl Strauss.
What type of job? We are probably the luckiest people. We're dealing with alcohol all day, even as bartenders.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty awesome.
I mean, it's a tough job, but somebody has to do it.
That's great. That's great. We're going to switch gears a little bit and kind of just go, we just like to talk about like random topics that have to do anything with alcohol and booze related, and of course comic book and geek related too. We came up on this article in Curiosity. It's an online magazine, and the title of it pretty much explains the whole idea of what's going on inside the article, but it's different drinks do give you a different drunk, but it's only because you expect them to. Now, a lot of people can take that different ways, but I think that's kind of true. I mean, you hear the idea like, yo, I'm not going to drink tequila tonight, because when I drink tequila, I'm going to rage. Or like Jägermeister. If somebody busts out a bottle of Jägermeister, someone's going to go to the hospital. Like, it's just that
Didn't someone go to the hospital at your mom's party?
My mom almost went to the hospital on my mom's birthday party, and she was drinking Jaeger. Oh, she's gonna hate this being on the air, but yes, that is definitely what happened.
Yeah. That's hilarious. But yeah, whiskey makes you frisky. Like,
yes, whiskey does make me frisky.
Whiskey gets me drunk. Tequila just ruins my life.
Yeah, but I think the idea, what I thought about was cool about this article was that it's those pre-notions. If you have this, it's preset. Like if you have this thought and you're going to go into the situation, that thought's going to overcome it, and it's going to totally set up the evening. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to drink something thinking, oh, this is going to get me messed up, you're probably most likely going to get messed up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, so it talks about like how, if you're at a wedding and you're going to drink, like, and you're like, okay, this is going to make me want to dance at the end of the night. So now, now anytime you're out somewhere and you want to have a great time, you're going to drink that alcohol.
Damn, mimosas get me grooving every time.
If you go into it drinking, like, and having a bad night already, you're going to have a bad night. Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't, it's all in your mind.
Yeah, I mean, they did a couple test subjects where they gave a person like a beer with this amount of alcohol, and they give somebody a liqueur like whiskey with the same content of alcohol,
yeah.
and they consumed it and they still act the same way. So it's really a mindset type of deal.
And then they gave some people vodka and some people flat tonic water, and they were acting
like
the same.
placebos and stuff.
That's what they kind of called it. They called it the placebo effect, but with booze.
I can see it.
What about that story that you were telling me about the female?
I read this is in like, I forget what magazine it was, a long time ago, old magazine. I came across this article that this girl in a fraternity? Yes, fraternity.
She was giving birth?
No.
No.
She was in a frat house?
A frat house. Yeah.
That's awesome.
She
Sorority.
apparently sorority. That's what the girls are.
Right. Okay, that's a whole different meaning.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
We want to find a girl in a fraternity. And some bad raps lately.
So she, I don't know, would always like get drunk and hook up with whatever guy. But her friends caught on and realized that she doesn't even drink alcohol. Like, she doesn't even drink that much. She wouldn't even finish a whole glass before she was feeling buzzed. So they ended up throwing a party and catching her in her lie and poured her water out of this vodka bottle, and she was
Every
like
time she took a
saying
shot,
that
she was like, "Yeah,
she was like, oh, I'm so buzzed.
this song is about me."
Yeah.
And just completely hammered.
So they totally caught her in a lie and pointed her out and was like,
That's you know what? That's a person that I would not want to go drinking with.
You know what though? The one thing I have that perception with you guys, like it really just is the amount of alcohol you drink and how strong it is. The one thing, like I said, tequila, and this is when I was young. This is like right when I was 22. I drank with people way out of my league. They're much older, much heavier than me at the time.
Yeah.
But I drank just as much tequila as all of them. And it was the only time out of my drunk life that I woke up still drunk.
Oh man, that's
I was serving at the time. I woke up, it was a Sunday. The next day I had to work in the morning.
Those morning serving sweats, I love those.
It was the one day I ever had to take off of work because I was too hungover. Like I wasn't hungover. I woke up drunk. Like I stood up, I tried to eat some toast, I was dizzy. It was
restaurant life.
wow.
Yeah,
that's rough.
Yeah. So that I haven't really touched tequila since then. Just doesn't make me go crazy or anything. It's just.
But then, it's that like that event that like in your mind you're like, I'm not going to drink this anymore because I don't want this to happen.
Yep.
So we have a question of what comic book character would you go to a bar with?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So mine would be Captain America.
Wholesome, all-American Captain America.
Yeah, he seems like a stand-up guy. Like you said.
Does he even drink?
I'd make him drink.
Well, yeah.
This one's for America.
If he's true American, he's probably going to have a beer or two, and it's probably going to be. What do you think he would be drinking?
Man, I don't. It might be some sort of maybe some sort of old-fashioned or something.
Okay. Classy.
But still just pretty simple.
You know, that would make sense too because he's from that past. He's from
maybe just something neat.
Straight out of the.
What state is he from?
I'm not exactly sure where Captain America.
I got the whole idea of it because my group of friends, we all had like these Marvel character heroes that we would be if we were them, and I got labeled with Captain America. I don't know if it was because I was white and
probably
a good Samaritan. I don't know,
awesome.
But no, yeah, he seems like a cool dude.
That's actually a good answer. Out of all the answers, I wouldn't have thought of Captain America because he is kind of clean cut.
He's clean cut,
but that doesn't mean he can't enjoy a good cocktail.
I bet you get a couple in him, you get some good stories out of there.
Sure.
He was in the World War, right? Was it 1 or 2?
I think it was 1. He was in, or maybe 2 because he was battling Red Skull, and that was from the neo-Nazis.
Oh, it was, yeah. I think it was World War II.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he could tell me how his experimental procedures went. He went from skin and bones to absolutely ripped, so I would like to get on that regimen, too.
And you need that girth to pound those beers. You know what I'm saying? Can't be that lightweight anymore.
He could be a lightweight, though. You never know.
He was a lightweight. Swolled him up. We came up with another article that I found online, Comic Book Resource. It's actually a pretty cool website. They just post a lot of geek-related stuff and comic book stuff. But they kind of had a list of 15 best comic book drinking buddies that you can go out with. We're not going to go over all 15, but we decided to highlight a couple. Matt Murdock, Daredevil, is probably one of the best people to go out and have a drinking buddy with.
Which I thought about that because we've been watching Daredevil, and I was like,
and a lot of the scenes,
cool.
a lot of the scenes he's in the bar. A lot of scenes he's in the bar drinking after a long day of trial, a long day of tribulations, and yeah, he's kind of the guy that goes out and relaxes after a long day of, defending these helpless people, and then he starts to go out and kick ass at night. So he definitely has a lot of stories to relax with. I wonder
if he probably has super keen taste too.
That's what it said too. That because he's blind, all his other senses are heightened. So he's probably tasting every piece of hop and bar that's coming out of that.
Do you think you can mess around with him and be like, "Here's your tequila shot, sir," and end up being like whiskey or gin or something like that?
Oh, he would be the wrong person to mess with.
Yeah,
seriously, he'd be able to taste it super quick right off the bat. And you know what he's probably drinking at Luke Cage's bar? Another character that would be great to go drinking with. Besides that, he has his own bar. Like, that would be ideal spot to go to.
Well, and they were saying that he would totally be the guy that you would go out drinking with, and he would tell you what drinks, are worth paying that money, or if you're like, you should just go home and buy it, that bottle.
Yeah.
Or, if it's a top shelf, if that's really worth, your buck.
He'll let you know what's up.
Because I don't understand people who go to a bar and, there's some drinks that for a shot of it is $100 and something, and, yeah, anyways, so you can help us out with that.
Well, yeah, it's actually kind of nice, because there's a bottle that we have at our bar, the Whistle Pig, and it's our most expensive whiskey that we carry. It's $15 for an ounce and a half.
For a shot.
$15 for a shot.
There was a Rock and Brews account. I don't know what it was. It was a whiskey of some sort, but he said it was like $100 and something a shot.
What?
Yes.
Man, I don't know. I don't know if I could ever do an expensive shot like that.
I would expect an entire bottle.
Maybe if I was making a lot of money and I could afford that.
I'm looking at it from the frugal standpoint. Yes, my wallet would be crying
for sure
from the sound of that, alcohol pouring into the glass.
It would be one of those things where
and then going in the toilet after because you're just drinking it.
I'd probably pee outside on the plants to spread the love to the earth too, just to not throw down the drain.
This is some glorious piss right here.
This is the $15 piss that I
Serious
earlier.
No, he said it was $100 shot.
That's crazy.
It was the bar manager, and he was just these people were buying 4 of them.
Wow.
What's going on?
Yeah. So I was surprised. This guy I had at the bar last week was buying these shots of Whistle Pig. Double shots, 2 of them, $30 a shot.
Oh,
he was just buying double shots of this.
Did he tip you well?
Yeah, I think so. I don't really remember.
Serving, all I remember is I didn't care how you treated me. If you tipped me well, that's fine.
I try not to look at my tips,
I'm actually quite the reverse of that.
Really?
Yeah, dude. You know what? It's cool. You're gonna tip me either way, yes or no. But if you're nice, if you're genuinely respectful, that's all that kind of really matters to me.
It definitely makes the experience a lot better.
For sure.
Yeah, I love the nice people, but I've had people where I was like, man, I'm totally chilling with you guys. You're the best. I want to go to your family barbecue, and then they stiff you, and I'm like, well.
Yeah, that I have been hurt that way a couple times.
But anyways, if he tipped me well or not, I try not to look at the amount that they're giving me because it either makes or breaks my day.
I never let it affect me, but I always look at them when they're walking away from my table and I see how they tip me. You left me $5.50, sir. All right, you're an asshole. And then he goes away. Yeah.
So another comic book character that would be awesome to go out and have a couple beers with would be the Thing from Fantastic Four. Now, this guy is all about having parties. He's known to actually have many superhero parties thrown at his house.
And poker nights.
Which would be awesome. Although I wouldn't understand how he would hold a 5-card hand in those rocky, beastly hands.
I was gonna say, yeah, he's a big dude, right?
Yeah, there's dominoes. The table would break every time he plays down a domino. Boom.
Yeah. That's hilarious. So Guy Gardner is also one, a Green Lantern Corpse, who also knows how to party. He opened up his own bar called The Warriors.
Which is a really cool concept.
It's a great concept where it's just a place for him and his friends to go hang out between their missions, but it had this superhero concept to it. So it's where the heroes come and hang out after when they're not on the job and saving the world.
What is that thing from Family Guy? I think it was it wasn't even like for the DC or Marvel. I don't know where it could have been, but it was like the underground underneath the water.
Oh yeah.
I think it was the evil people.
Yeah.
He was like, me, Sullivan Van Gundy may have dropped the ball. That's hilarious. Like their Fortress of Solitude. Oh, Lair of Doom.
Lair of Doom. That's
Lair
what it
of
was.
Doom.
Very
I got my fact checking people right now.
Awesome. That's perfect.
So this is gonna make the show a lot better.
Good job.
Awesome.
And then Wonder Woman, of course, she's someone I would totally want to go drinking with. More so, I would want to go to brunch with her because I'm a classy lady.
Classier, mimosas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would pretty much go anywhere with Wonder Woman. For real.
I mean, she can fly you anywhere you want to go. So.
But Amazonians can go very hard with their libations.
Yeah.
Is what they say.
Yeah, she's definitely known to
they're gonna they're gonna like top you with whatever you're drinking and not give you a weird look or anything
they're
either.
Gonna scare you into drinking it though. Like you're not gonna want to turn it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, they use the example like if you're going to the bar with her and you're try to impress her, don't buy her just one drink and don't make it just a double. She's gonna need a bottle and she's gonna need a couple, and then you'll be able to hang out because she's Wonder Woman and she knows how to pound.
She definitely drinks whiskey.
For sure.
We're not having those mimosas at brunch.
For sure.
Start classy, then you can start breaking it.
Another character that is fairly new to me. I guess he's kind of been around for a while. They're gonna make a TV show of him on Amazon, I believe, or not on Amazon, on AMC, called The Preacher. Jesse Custer. Now, he's a preacher that definitely knows how to drink. He smokes and is actually known to get into a couple bar fights. So that would be an awesome conversation to have in general. A preacher that's down to chill, have a beer, and if you get out of hand, he'll back you up and smash bottles and wouldn't be afraid to take out a couple people. So that's another...
Is that how your pastor is?
Pretty much. Except he's got a huge, huge beard. Another character would be Wolverine. I mean, he's always kind of known to have a couple beers in the bar for sure. And there's been so many times in the comics and in the stories where they're about to go on to a mission, and he just straight up says, like, you know what? You do it. I'm going to go to the bar and have a beer. So
I like that kind of guy.
Yeah, he's always kind of like a solo.
Did you say you want to go to the bar with him?
No, I said the Incredible Hulk.
Oh, right.
Simply because I just think it would be hilarious to see him sitting in a bar stool.
I feel like Wolverine would be a given.
For sure, Wolverine would be
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, like he would have like alright, if those people came to me while I was drinking at the bar, then he would go, fight the good fight, but instead, let those people handle it. I'm gonna go get a drink.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like we don't even. I mean, okay, yeah, you're gonna take the Hulk to the bar. Whatever.
The Hulk would be funny though.
But
yeah,
Wolverine's already going to be there. We don't have to invite him.
That might be bad too because the Hulk and Wolverine have been known to battle each other, so that might be some problems there.
If you're looking to stage a nice fight though,
we'll have the preacher come in and break it up after that. And I think the last person on the list is kind of a given, but at the same time, there's a good possibility he might die. Is Deadpool. No, because Deadpool, you have no idea what's going to happen with him, what he's going to say, or where the evening's going to go. But he's guaranteed down to have a few beers, or not even just beers. He's the type of guy that would drink anything. So if you give him a pina colada, you're going to make his day, and he'll be so proud to drink it with you.
If you give him anything, you're going to make his day.
For sure.
I would just love how vulgar he would be. That's my.
He's definitely the ideal bar conversationist because you have no idea where the topic's going to go. And it'll be ridiculous. Very true. Did you ever see the Deadpool movie?
Oh, yeah. It was one of my favorites.
Right?
I heard it was one of their lowest budget films that Marvel did too. And
made
it
a crap load.
And it just did so well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Deadpool was always an iconic character, and for a lot of people, he was put on the back burner. There's been so many opportunities where he could have made an appearance, but he didn't. And there was a huge fan base, and a lot of people were looking forward to having a Deadpool movie.
You know what I heard too? Because I'm not crazy well versed with a lot of the comics, though. He was always vulgar, right?
Yeah. Well, he was known for talking to the third person. Like, he's known to talk directly to the reader.
Yeah.
And to realize the concept that's going on around him is ridiculous. He puts that on blast, too.
And I guess don't quote me, but I remember, I think what they heard is for the longest time, Marvel had to keep their movies at a PG-13 rating.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that contract, something, whatever was that limit, expired. And
Yeah.
they waited 0 time to get that one into full production and go and make it rated R.
And what a great character to do so with that.
That's the best character to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, the most vulgar. It was great.
There was actually they've been in the process of making Deadpool 2. Now there's been some debate going on who's actually going to be the director. Ryan Reynolds had a director lined up, but due to creative differences, whatever that may be, that director got fired.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So there's a lot of things going on with that, but there's this online petition going on for Quentin Tarantino to step up and direct Daredevil. Now,
that sounds like a bloody mess.
That sounds like an awesome, perfect bloody mess. Because Deadpool's known for his dialogue, and so is Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
Like, that would be an unbelievable mashup.
You know what the thing with that is? Like, Quentin Tarantino, as great as his films are, half of it's the dialogue.
That's what makes his movies.
Yeah. I think the Marvel fan base would be...
Which would be really good for Daredevil.
It would tap into a different audience for sure, because everyone who's watching these Marvels, they want that witty, comic-y, funny type of thing. This would be a whole new take on it.
And still with Quentin's background and his influence on, and even just the way he shoots, the goriness and the ridiculousness.
The goriness is the best part.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it would fit perfect with Deadpool, because it would just be awesome.
Well, I think the show, the way that they shoot it right now, is really good.
What?
The Daredevil?
Well, Daredevil alone, yeah, but we're talking about Deadpool.
You said the new Deadpool movie?
Yeah, the Deadpool movie. They're trying to have Quentin direct the Deadpool movie.
I feel it might be too slow for a lot of the audience. So
yes,
I'm saying, it would be a great movie, but I feel like everyone would be like, wait, why aren't we going 100 miles an hour from the start?
Yeah, it would be interesting. But I think that'd be a great matchup.
I want to be opposed to it.
That'd be a great matchup. Now, along the lines of movies, let's continue talking about it. I'm going to ask you a question, and Danny, you can chime in too. But who do you think played Batman the best? Out of what? How many Batmans? There was 5 or 6 Batmans. Who do you think portrayed Batman the best on screen?
Oh, you're going to hate me because I don't...
Dude, if you say Clooney, I'm going to turn off this mic right now.
No way. Do you not watch the Batman one?
Oh, Christian Bale.
Okay.
Christian Bale, yes, because he's the most relevant. I haven't, as much as this podcast might hate me right now, I haven't seen the newest one, Batman versus Superman.
Okay, no.
I heard.
You're not
I fell asleep during
You're not
that.
missing much. That's totally
That's what I heard. Dark Knight was great. Honestly, that was because of Heath Ledger and his role with the Joker.
Hands down, I can't disagree with you.
He made that movie right there.
Yeah.
So I think that one was my favorite one.
I only like Christian Bale because I liked him when I was really young, when he was in the Newsies musical.
You know what's funny? She thinks Disney Newsies. I think American Psycho, and those are two completely different characters.
That's a good range, though.
That's
Batman's right in the middle,
for sure. Bruce Wayne and Batman are somewhere between a Disney musical and a massacre.
Okay, so. Those movies were so good. The Dark Knight Rises.
No, those are really good.
Dark Knight was great. No, what's weird though is the 2 movies I see they want to hype up so much is Batman and Superman, and for some reason they never exceed what their comic book status was.
And you know what? Again, for a lot of people, I think that the expectations of these movies are a little bit too high.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like people need to just chill out and enjoy the movie as is. They're not gonna, if they're gonna nail it as the comic, do it. But if not, just take it as entertaining and just
what
I still wasn't entertained with it.
What I see is I'm not crazy versed in the comic scene, so as an outsider, I see people viewing Superman and Batman as like the only two people that they know, so they think they need this great movie, this great scene behind it. But then when it comes to Deadpool, I guarantee you there are a lot of people like, what is this? Who's this guy? And they watch the movie and like, this guy's fucking amazing.
Awesome.
So it's like low expectations, but then when the movie comes out, they're like, it's almost like a whole new person to them, even though they've been around for how many years now?
Yeah.
So that's what I think of it as, is Superman and Batman are just too high to almost, you can't expect.
They're definitely high expecting characters too, almost like mythology characters also. People want to see tremendous thing happen from them. What about D? What are your favorite Batman
I already
on
said
screen?
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale? You guys both said Christian Bale?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's it. But like I said, like the Dark Knight movie was...
Those are great. The trilogies were great. They were very well done.
You can't beat what he did as the Joker right there.
I think for me, the person that portrays Batman the best, I'm super old school, and it's kind of the original thing to say, but Michael Keaton. Every time there was a new Batman, I just kept comparing him to Michael Keaton.
Okay.
And I don't know. Again, Clooney didn't do it for me. Val Kilmer didn't do it for me either.
No.
Christian Bale was good, and I do give him props for that, but nothing beats Michael Keaton as the original Batman.
Was he the first?
He was the first,
Yeah.
I think, theatrical movie, Batman.
Who was the...
You might be thinking of Adam West.
Adam West.
No, yeah. Adam West on screen. I mean, you know what? You can't go wrong with Adam West.
Because wasn't Batman back in the day like more funny when Adam West was it? Like it wasn't.
Well, yeah,
like,
definitely. It
so
was more of like a
serious.
slapstick type of
Yeah.
TV comedy series with the sound effects, the words popping up, and like it doesn't get any more cartoony than that.
Yeah.
But I think with Tim Burton being the director and how he tried to make it really dark and kind of stick to the actual comics, I think Michael Keaton
See,
hit the spot for it.
I didn't know Tim Burton directed that one right there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but-
And if you look
the
at
Penguin.
no, actually he directed the one with the Penguin too, but he directed the original one, the one that came in like 88 or 89. He
Okay.
directed that one too.
So I like Tim Burton a lot.
Yeah.
I like that dark aspect too.
Super dark. Yeah, if you watch it again, you realize like, yeah, this movie is kind of dark. But the reason why I kind of bring Michael Keaton up too is just been confirmed that he is going to be the new Vulture in the Spider-Man Homecoming movie. So be prepared for him to come out and make another villain experience
Nice.
for you, which would be really, really cool. And you could always expect great things from Michael Keaton, especially, has anybody seen, what is that last movie that he came out that did really well? Birdman? Did anybody watch that movie?
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either, but I heard it's really good. So
That's,
we're gonna,
okay, I know
we'll
what
definitely have to
you're talking
watch
about.
that. We'll
We'll
definitely have to watch
We'll have
that.
to have a group watch.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
make
come
it-
back and talk
yeah,
about
we'll
it.
come back.
And along the lines for, stuff that's going on in the movie theaters, Marvel's definitely trying to step up its game. I think DC's kind of been holding down the theater spot for the past couple years. X-Men came out with the Apocalypse that did okay. I thought it was really good because I'm a huge X-Men fan. But I think DC's kind of been coming out and selling a lot of these movies, whether they're good or not, but they've been pushing a lot. So Marvel's trying to step up its game. They announced that they were going to come out with an Inhumans movie in 2020. But the thing is, they decided to cancel the movie, right? But instead of bringing it just a movie, they decided to make it into a miniseries. But check this out. They're going to shoot this miniseries in IMAX format, right? They're going to premiere the first 2 episodes of this miniseries in theaters. And then when those episodes are premiered, they're going to finish premiering the rest of the season on TV. So I thought that was an extremely bold move. I think that's pretty cool concept that Marvel wants to introduce. A lot of people don't know about the Inhumans. They're getting very, very popular the past couple of years. But I think it's very cool to start off a TV show in theaters, get all hyped up, see it on a big screen, and then when it's done, you can go home and watch the rest of it on TV. Nothing like that's ever been done before. So I'm going to say cheers to Marvels. That's a really, really cool concept.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. It's just kind of like their big introduction.
I mean, imagine, seeing episodes like Daredevil in the first episode on the big screen, and then you get to go home and finish it on Netflix. Like you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait 2 years for another movie to come out.
So the whole thing would already be up.
I believe so. I don't know. I'm not too sure if it's going to be like a Netflix thing or like an Amazon Prime or something. But I know they're going to have it on TV. But I mean, for people that might have, a subscription somewhere, it might be already available, so they could just burn through it
That'd be
But
pretty cool. Yeah.
it's reaching a wide brand of audience. It's going to be, I believe the first 2 episodes are going to be in theaters for like a week or 2 weeks, and then after that they're going to do the rest of the TV shows.
All right.
So that's awesome. I think that's a really cool concept. One more last thing I kind of thought or kind of came across.
Oh, it was the Wi-Fi access is more addictive than sex, booze, and chocolate.
Right?
So we found that on the Loaded online magazine.
That's super interesting.
Where does beer fit in there?
That, unfortunately, this says it's 9% at the very bottom.
Oh, it does.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, they surveyed 1,700 smartphone users using the iPass.
Well, it was a company. A company conducted a survey, and the company was iPass. And I guess this company is kind of known for, or they want to promote global Wi-Fi access to everyone.
So, Wi-Fi ranked as 40%, which is number one daily essential. Second would be sex at 37%, and chocolate at 14%, and then alcohol at only 9%.
This whole statistic would not have mattered 10 years ago. Or what, maybe even less than 10 years ago?
Not at all. Like
the
last
fact-
year.
The fact that the number one essential for people to have on a daily basis is Wi-Fi connection. And that outranks
Well, I mean,
sex, chocolate, and alcohol altogether.
I mean, even children.
While streaming online?
While streaming. Yeah,
That's great.
Well, even like children are addicted to being connected to a screen, and that's like they get their like, I don't know, adrenaline or rush or high from, being soaked into some TV show or some video game.
Mm-hmm.
And now people are just getting more and more addicted to, this, just looking at their phones.
Right. Well, you can tell how big of an addiction it is because there's so many people that come into our bar.
Yeah, that's what I was
And,
saying.
hey, how's it going? What can I get you started with the drink today?
Do you guys have Wi-Fi?
Do you guys have Wi-Fi? And I'm like, well, I'm right here.
It is actually.
What is the problem?
It is actually. I'm a T-Mobile user, so certain buildings kind of am screwed over as far as being connected with the world. But I actually don't mind it because I can actually not have my phone on me.
Yeah.
I am a victim of when I'm eating my lunch at work, I'm always out and about. So
For sure.
I'm looking at like my sports teams. I'm a crazy
It's
Giants
crazy.
fan. For
I can't
baseball.
even tell you how many times I've scrolled through Instagram and Facebook today.
I'm just like,
doing nothing.
You just start liking things just because, like, you don't even really care for it. You're like, yeah, like. And then the second you don't have internet or Wi-Fi, it's like,
what is going
the
on?
world stuff.
What happened?
I don't think I've ever really asked for Wi-Fi necessarily as much out here as when I was like out traveling in Europe or something like that. But out in Europe, there was Wi-Fi everywhere. Like you can go anywhere and get connected.
It's definitely starting to get more though. I mean, I see bars and restaurants and places where it's like Wi-Fi password. Here it is.
So,
on a slip of paper.
I found this other article of these pop-up pubs things that it's just like this enclosed like trailer that has no Wi-Fi access, like no internet, nothing, like, and you have to just interact with everyone that's
that
there.
sounds so awful.
Like,
Freak people out.
But isn't it crazy that they came up with this, like, that they had this, construction that, like, you can't get any internet access and you have to turn off your phones. You have to turn off your phones if you're here.
Well, no what's fun is, like, camping. Like, a lot of places you go camping, your phone is useless. And I went camping a couple weeks ago with my buddies, and the only thing that I really needed was a certain playlist of music on my phone, and we were set. And we were basically out of contact for about 2 days, and after like the first portion of the first day you get there, you forget it's there because you remember how fun it is actually interacting with people. Like how we are right now. We've been talking for how long? Just about certain things, beer, comics, and stuff. It's fun. Like, I don't need to check and see what's happening on Instagram. Like, did I get more likes than my girlfriend? Type of thing. We have a constant competition.
Actually, I did have a competition with my friend like that.
It's like,
photography.
who took the picture better? Like, you're not like you're not on your phone because
Mhm.
I know like at one point I probably imagine myself on Snapchat like taking a picture of my beer glass just because.
Yeah,
the
no
time.
one cares.
And if I was the other
I
person,
care. Okay, I like the photo. Okay.
Jared's drinking
You're like,
again.
you're like, oh look, he's drinking more beer. That fat ass. All right, you know, like yeah, that's like it's a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah.
I think it's just how
My problem is being at work and seeing people just hand their phone over to their child or their tablet or just
yeah.
put on a movie while they're at a family dinner, and I'm just like,
See, yeah,
That's one
can't
thing
they
that I'm
play
concerned
with salt
about.
shakers like we used to?
that's the kind of thing. Like I have a little girl right now too. One thing that I can praise about her is she will use a tablet occasionally. The one time she used it was on a car trip we took to Northern California.
What I understand, sitting in a car.
Yes. But everywhere else, even at home, like she does not use it, and it wasn't anything that I did personally. I think it was just her. She would much rather play with the bouncy ball than go on a tablet, and I thank God every day that she does that still.
Yeah.
But I think kids are definitely starting to lose their roots of going outside, playing in dirt and playing tag and having a little imaginary friends or just making friends in general.
There's definitely a different generation of people that are coming and that are gonna not have the concept of what it means to go outside and play.
Yeah. Like people are going to be friends on their little phones when they're 5, and they're not going to go outside because their parents are too scared they're going to get sick or
they're
the
bubble children,
and it's all caused through honestly Wi-Fi because
it's caused through the news and media and one kid got kidnapped and your kid's gonna get kidnapped
because the same stuff has been happening years ago. The same exact stuff has been continuing to happen as it is now. It's just people were getting their hands
more
on,
aware of it
on
now.
These dumb fake articles too. They're not real. Like you gotta start deciphering which ones are real, which ones are fake. Like I said, like the last election, did you guys hear about this? Most of the majority of articles politically were fake to a certain extent.
That was the main topic of conversation in my journalism class.
Yes, and it blows my mind. Like, and a whole election got like chosen by that basically, or at least like persuaded a lot of America because no one took the time to actually
get the facts checked.
Get something checked totally and like I said, it all goes back to Wi-Fi too, because without Wi-Fi, no one had that access. You'd be stuck to the newspapers who actually do their due diligence and fact check stuff.
The New York Times came out saying that they were being really biased and they apologized. For that.
Oh, you gotta look at Fox News too. You got Fox, CNN, NBC, the Washington Post. They're all, of course, like, it's kind of like what your views are to it. But yeah, again, like, it was just a lot more easier to get along with the people on your same side of the political party if you were on the.
Let's just unplug from society, man. Let's just unplug. Let's go.
Well, we can't. We have our podcast.
We'll take our laptop and a microphone, and we'll talk about.
You guys can only listen to us.
We'll go into the woods. We'll camp out there for a couple of weeks. We'll like
Neanderthal with it.
I had a friend who did. I guess he's working on this documentary that he did, where they, unplugged their phones and did a road trip across the states.
Awesome.
I don't know how many days it took them, but yeah, they, with no phone, just traveled by map.
They only went out for as long as their iPhone batteries was still charged. When it was done, when the power died on their phone, it was time to wrap up and come back home.
Send your last few goodbye messages. It's maybe the last you'll ever get to see my face.
Yeah, but I mean, what, you said you get lost if we traveled by map? Because we don't even know how to read a map anymore.
I mean, we learn really quick.
Speak for yourself. I definitely know how to read a map. Okay. I know where north, south, east, and west is at, for sure.
I do too.
It'd just be an adventure. You'd have to actually get out of your car and ask somebody at a gas station, like, how do you get to whatever?
Exactly, and no one's done that in like 5 years.
Yeah.
6 years for sure.
Just
look it up on the phone.
They're too scared to ask somebody. Like, they're,
just look at them weird.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like, I don't like this guy.
Why are you talking to me?
Yep.
Then we're going to wrap this up with your question of the day, or whatever you got for me.
So, Jared, I'll have you answer this first, but would you rather have the ability to fly, but only by doggy paddling and barking like a dog? Or be able to spew fire out of your mouth, but it burns and it like tastes like vomit.
Oh, definitely the flying. Definitely the flying. Because you know what? You're so high in the air, no one can see you acting like a fool.
Well, you have to bark like a dog still.
But you got to think about it. You have to get up high into the air. So first you're starting on the ground like this, like wagging like a dog and barking the whole time. So you're going to cause some attention.
Oh, you'll cause attention, but then people would start to realize that you're flying, and then they'll be like, holy shit.
Crap.
And then I'm like, yeah, motherfucker. And then I start to fall down a little bit, and then I got to start barking again. But, you know, at least I can fly. I don't know, because, I mean, again, anyone who's ever drinking a little too much,
I'm like, no one can see how ridiculous we look.
We are all going. We should all be paddling.
Like,
We're 20 feet in the air right now.
If we're like a couple 100 feet in the air, you know, we may be a little bit more out of breath because it's a little higher on the elevation, but...
Yeah, do you have to consistently dog paddle in order to stay up in the air?
Yeah. Like you wouldn't, like swimming in water.
Okay.
What about like swimming, like a frog swim?
Yeah, I'm down for a breaststroke.
You know, like...
No, just doggy paddling and barking.
I mean, still that's
or you
fine.
have to croak like a frog, like frog swim.
I'm cool with that too. Like, does it how often do you have to bark? Is it like every other paddle, or is it like every 30 seconds? Because if I'm flying somewhere far, that's gonna be a lot of barking.
Yeah, I don't know.
How fast are you flying?
I haven't thought that far.
I ask too many questions.
Yeah, I'm definitely doing the doggy paddle. I'm not vomiting fire.
But you can shoot fire out of your mouth.
And it burns and it tastes like vomit?
Yeah.
No, I'm pass. I'll pass on that. I will paddle my way up to Everest.
Yeah, we always need details.
For sure. But what about you? What would you pick?
Yeah, what's yours?
I would probably doggy paddle and fly.
Who wants to?
But then, shooting fire out of your mouth is
I don't want to do it to maybe hurt someone if they're I'm not a fighter.
Well, this is your special ability. This is your superpower.
I'm gonna start forest fires.
Someone is after you.
It's got a smoky, vomity taste to it.
Yeah.
That's true. How do you save the world with fire?
I don't know.
I mean, you can stop someone. Like, oh, I'm gonna rob this bank. No, you're not. And then the people look at you as a hero, and then you're like,
you just burn all the money.
Wait, hold on. Don't talk to me. I'm gonna throw up again.
What if you? So what if you really had to throw up? You had too much to drink or something. You throw up fire.
That's it. There goes every public restroom or every backseat of a Honda.
Everyone look away.
Yeah, it's just bursting in flames.
Everyone out! Get out!
Honestly, I think that would create havoc for fire departments everywhere. I see buildings on fire and forest fires out the ass because camping I got considerably drunk before, but. Haven't thrown up, but I can see it happen.
Oh yeah, for sure. When I go camping, I'm gonna get wasted.
Smokey the Bear is gonna be very busy.
There goes Big Bear.
Okay, we'll just stick with flying. The dogs will all be barking at us,
and super pissed and jealous, by the way,
because
they've been dog paddling their whole life, and now they're going
create disturbances in neighborhoods nationwide. It'll be an outbreak either way. It's gonna be people. There's gonna be pissed dog owners or burnt down everything. So.
Awesome. We are dog paddling to infinity and beyond. We're gonna wrap it up with the toast. We're gonna toast to good old Karl Strauss today.
I know, and our first guest here.
Producing a beer that we're drinking, and for the wonderful company, and for the creativeness of breweries and all the other good stuff.
Yeah.
Karl Strauss, thank you very much. Delicious.